same stuff,
It
yeah.
doesn't look much different. 'Cause
Right.
I bought last year's.
Right,
I bought last year's and I didn't think it looked, it doesn't look.
right. All seemed reasonable to me.
I'm surprised Mary Beth isn't here because when they were on a cruise, and they were supposed to come home last night, and then there was a little airline issue, so
Who is she with?
the Lilac Gardens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I me, but I don't have, yeah, I mean, that'd be important, and I don't even have a letter, which they should might be pulling in, I just saw. Didn't have to work has a great card, might be.
Is the letter sufficient, or do they have to personally
Well,
be
they-
here?
No, last year, member Chamber wasn't here, they had their letter,
Right,
and we went.
that's right.
approved it.
But usually they get a.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
There are so many cats around
because,
now.
I mean, they do it every year, so you know what it is.
Right, that's Tom.
But you never know about the rules, you know, so.
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's collar once in a while.
When,
When I filmed yesterday, it had a little mouse, and it was
No, I don't think we got that part yet.
going around in circles.
I don't think it's
Amanda,
Stuff, and I was just,
are we within the guidelines of how much they're asking with what we have for
What's our,
funding?
okay, he'll tell us what we have to work with.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll give a few minutes to see. I think she just pulled in,
Okay, let's
we
give
got
her,
1 minute.
yeah, give her a second call.
yeah. She was on vacation and was coming home last night and, you know, airline issues,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm hoping she made it.
Amanda, do I need to push on something here when we get started?
Record the meeting.
You press the,
Pretty much do that now.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, there she is.
Recording in progress.
Okay. We'll call the meeting to order. Amanda, would you do the roll call, please? It's 7 o'clock on September the 23rd, 2024.
Judy Kroon,
Here,
Tim Knight,
Kroon.
here.
Councilmember Rounds.
Here. Okay, is there any citizens' communications? Okay. For items not on the agenda? Items on the agenda.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are we gonna be allowed to speak during
Mhm.
each individual one?
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there new business? We'll go into A, which is agency requests for funding and presentation. Hulda Klager, Lilac Gardens is the first on the agenda.
Hello,
Hello.
is it on? Yeah.
It is on, but we have speak into it.
Talk
Just
into
speak
it close?
loudly as you
Okay.
can, Mary. We're having a
First,
problem with her.
first, I apologize. I have a little bit of a cracky voice. I have been traveling and I came home with a little bit of a sore throat yesterday. So I hope you can bear with me.
Fine.
Okay. I feel like my voice is really low. So the Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens has been the benefactor of grants for a number of years from the City of Woodland tourism dollars. And there goes my phone. I'm sorry I didn't turn it off. We are requesting $10,000 this year, a little bit of an increase from prior years. That is due to some of the costs for advertising and publicity that have risen over the past few years. We have been able to get a number of TV stations out to the Lilac Gardens to do some on-site commercials as well as interviews and showing the gardens and our event for Lilac Days. That is fairly expensive. And then we also are advertising on social media. We're doing print ads in the Seattle Times, the Oregonian. We've got into the Columbian, the Longview Daily News, and then up north into Lewis County on the Chronicle, and then locally in the Reflector. We're also sending out many ads on social media, which those we create the ad, which does cost a little bit of money, and then we try to share that out all over. So last year we had approximately 12,000 plus visitors in our 3-week period. So we know the word is getting out, and we are counting the visitors that come in the door during Lilac Days. After Lilac Days, we were able to keep the gardens open for the summer and the spring. We were closed on Wednesdays for maintenance for our gardening crew. But most of the days we've been open, and we've seen a little bit of some visitors trickling in, so that's helped. We've done a couple other events, or actually we did a plant sale a couple times for some of the leftover merchandise that we had after Lilac Days. And then we are planning to do our first in a long time, a tea in the garden in October. We're kind of going to do a trial and error thing and see how we do, and then hopefully offer some more of those in the upcoming year. We're also going to do a Klager Christmas, December 13th, 14th, and 15th, and we're going to be doing some publicity for that. We also use the tourism money for our raffle tickets. It's a quilt raffle. If you've been to the garden, you've probably seen the quilts hanging over there, and that money is also going out all over the state. We've had visitors from as far as Japan, Canada, all over the United States, and we have them sign our guest book. And so we feel that the hotel motel tax is doing the job, and we're also trying to put heads in beds in our local motels. I have been over to the hotels and talked to the managers personally, and they are pleased, but they would like to see more visitors come to Woodland, and we're hoping that'll work. In 2025, we're hoping to do a combined effort with the Chamber of Commerce, possibly, and the Downtown Woodland Revitalization, the Lilac Gardens, maybe the Historical Museum, and others, to do a new brochure. And we're hoping to possibly highlight some of our businesses in town through some kind of incentive thing, or a coupon, or directing them to get out to our Woodland businesses and in Cowlitz County. So we're going to be meeting on that partnership in the next probably month or two. So the $10,000 has a lot of uses. We actually spend probably about $25,000 in publicity, and we could even use more if we had more. So thank you for consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? Okay, thanks. Okay. We'll move on to Downtown Woodland Revitalization.
I don't want to follow her.
It's okay. Take a deep breath.
Yep.
Mary, can you come up with me? Sure. Well, I'm teasing.
Okay, so I'm Adonica Simpson, and I am the president of Downtown Woodland Revitalization. We submitted our application for $5,000 to continue to promote bringing in folks from all over into not just, well, we have two major events that we are really focusing on that is proven to bring people into Woodland. I don't have as many details as Mary does, but I can tell you that last Winterfest we were able to bring in 700 people to downtown Woodland directly, and that was for Winterfest. we learned a lot about, you know, that amount of people and the things that we can adjust to do even better, which is closing down the street. And then we've got a lot of local businesses now interested in decorating. We're working with the city to add lighting down this main street further down to enhance the experience. And there's additional talk of having like little booths along the street and down in areas where people could shop and enjoy. But we had a tremendous outturn last year, and it was really, really well received by our local folks. But we also, and I just walked amongst the crowd at that time and learned that we had folks from Portland, and we did advertise on the radio for that. And that is the funds that we're asking for. The radio, cost of the radio has gone up, like everything, but we feel we can still manage to cover that event directly with that $5,000, because it's about $4,500. And then we also continue to do the hanging baskets down the street for Woodland. We're looking into other avenues for that to see if we can include the community more in that. But it takes time to connect with people that might be interested in helping us create those baskets instead of paying for them like we are. So we're looking for ways to lower our overhead and keep bringing the community in. And we also are really strongly promoting all of our benefits, all of our events, which is the biggest thing right there is social events. We only started our Facebook page in January, and we're already up to 200 followers. And every time we create an event, whether it's our Yard of the Month or our Hot Summer Nights, you know, where we do them out, depending on what Fridays, we had 5 Fridays this year. We put events out, and we get people to click that interested. Even if they can't come, if we get them to click that interested, then that goes into their address books and so on and so on. So we're just trying to expand awareness, because so many times I'm hearing from our local folks, I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know. Well, we all know everyone's busy, and they sometimes don't, you know, remember what we're doing, but we have to stay in front of them. And just like Mary said, our goal is to really connect with our other local groups. We have to pool our resources. So I've already spoke to the chamber, and I was happy to hear that the Lilac Gardens would be interested in partnering. We also want to do the Historical Society. There's several committees that we would all benefit if we can connect and promote each other, because that just widens our base. So, and we're all working towards the same thing. So we might as well work together and help each other get through these tighter times by sharing everything we're doing. And so is there any direct questions you have for me that I perhaps can quote you numbers? I'm new at this, so I don't always know.
I
what
do
you
have
need.
one question.
Sure.
Are you going to start putting flower baskets by the library in that area? Do you know?
As far as I know.
Because they've got the light post there, you know, so I just wondered.
Sure. I would have to show you our map as far as what's considered downtown Woodland revitalization. I don't believe it comes down as far as that.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I hate to quote that, you know, I'd
Mhm.
have to make
Okay.
sure, because that just changed. It got voted in last year, that changed.
I think so, yeah.
So I don't want to misquote. I'm not sure. If it's part of it, then yes, we would definitely be happy to do that.
Okay.
But that's kind of why I want to get more involvement from the community, because then maybe we don't have to stay within that little parameter as much.
What is the parameter right now that they voted in?
It's a specific area, excuse me. Keith, do you have any idea? Remember when we expanded the map? I wished I had the map with me, but I don't.
Fifth to Davidson, down Davidson, clear to the, Lakeshore Drive and Clerk. Buckeye, Lakeshore Drive, same thing.
Okay.
So right to that intersection.
To the Buckeye intersection? Yeah, that's what I thought they voted in last year. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification.
We will definitely be happy to expand in its entirety, but I want to make all of Woodland look amazing, so I know we have to stay within what we're supposed to do, but I also feel like, again, helping each other do all of it is gonna benefit all of us, so, but I know I'm supposed to focus on one area.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions?
No, thank you for that. Your paperwork looks good, so thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, Woodland Visitor Center.
All right, Keith Belisle, representing the Visitor Center Chamber of Commerce, asking for $50,000 of LTAC funding this year to assist with ongoing operations of the Visitor Center. We continue to see lots of visitors every year. I think we're looking at somewhere just at the Visitor Center around 2,000 per year. Of course, we encompass more visitors than that with the people that visit during the year and during the events during the year. So the numbers in the application reflect that. But again, we're open 6 days a week and staffed, and glad to see lots of visitors and direct them to the right places, sell them passes for their parking and discovery passes. And so things are going good there.
Any questions?
Do you have, how many employees do you have?
We have one employee, and I'm the and I'm the interim director. Yeah,
And that one employee works 6 days a week?
he works 5 days a week,
What are the hours of that?
9 to 5. Closed on Tuesdays, 9 to 5 on every day except for Sundays, 10 to 2. And I'm there every Sunday.
Anything else? Okay. Yes.
This is Chuck Halsey. He's our treasurer.
Morning committee, evening committee, whatever it is. Just real quick, I just want to run through a couple real quick things for you. So our total budget to run the visitor center right now is about $89,000. About close to 90% of that is all labor. So, you know, because we've had the blessing of former chambers and former boards who have done really great work to keep our facilities costs very low, we only have, you know, the state deal, which is like $1 a year kind of thing. So our facility costs are extremely low. Almost 100% of the money is really going towards labor. In the last 4 years, the state has done great things with minimum wages and minimum salaries, et cetera, et cetera. So what we've done in order to keep our ask basically exactly the same the last 4 or 5 years is first we took our executive director and stepped them down from pure salary to a salaried non-exempt position. I worked with the state to determine if that was acceptable, and that allowed us to keep that minimum lower than the $67,000 that I believe it is right now. Currently, Keith, as our interim executive director, is operating on an hourly basis, and that allows us to keep it even lower. So basically, he's being underpaid. So, but moving forward, it's likely that we'll stay in that kind of structure because it will allow us to control those labor costs and stay inside of our current $50,000 ask. The other thing that we've been discussing over the last year or so is really analyzing when do we see visitors come in so that we can have more staff there when it makes sense and not staff it when, you know, honestly on a Tuesday morning, there's just not a lot of people coming in, right? But perhaps the Friday before a 3-day weekend, a couple extra staff would be helpful. So we've also gone back and forth with, you know, offering passes or not offering passes, those kinds of things. But as the other people who have presented, the main thing we're really looking to do with the chamber and the visitor center is, you know, rising tide floats all boats. And I think, I'm sorry, I don't know. Yeah, she came and presented, you know, her vision a couple weeks ago at the chamber meeting. And, you know, I think there's some opportunity for us all to work together to actually, I don't know, take these small precious dollars that we have and really leverage them into something great. So that's my ad. If you guys have any questions, I'm free to answer. Thank you.
Judy, any questions? No. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck. Okay, that's all I have for Chamber and Visitor Center.
Okay.
Moving on to Planners Days.
Yeah.
Planners Days will celebrate its 103rd year this year. We're asking for $5,000 to help us get the word out there to people to come into town and spend the night here in Woodland and have a good time, maybe spend a few nights here. I've been honored to be able to help run the event for the last 6 years. I've been involved longer than 6 years, but it's a really great event and brings a lot of people to town and a lot of smiles and a lot of good memories. So for Planners Days, yes, we're asking for $5,000 of LTAC money.
Is that for advertising?
That's for advertising.
Okay.
Yep. And we have a new secretary this year, and I'm excited to work with him on making sure our advertising is super effective and directed at the people we need it to be directed at, you know. The event's worth coming to town for. And with 103 years of history, a lot of people know about it, and it's a worthwhile event, noteworthy.
Any questions? Judy? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any suggestions?
No, I think we need to know how much money we have to work with.
So our projection is 60,000,
60?
60.
And what do we have in reserves?
So we used to carry around 50, 60,000 in reserves. Prior administration last year threw $29,000 into the Civic Center for the exact price of the cost of the lumber package. So our reserves are now down into the $28,500 to $30,000 range. Quite a bit substantially lower. And that was when the thought was that the chamber, you know, last administration thought that the chamber was gonna end up in the visitor center. So the 28,000.
So
DWR
we've got
last year did-
28,000 and this is 70,000 is request.
Right, so we have
So-
call it less than 30,000 reserves, we have 60,000 that we're projecting would be 90,000, and we have 70,000 in requests.
I think 20 is okay in reserves. I mean, we may have to look at it next year though and see what we get in.
Right, I mean, when does the money get cut to these?
They have to submit their receipts for
Yeah,
their stuff.
for their
and then it's
reimbursement.
paid. So it's usually not paid out until the next year.
Because we need the projections to come in before we can pay.
No, this is
They
what
need
we're
to spend
working
the
with
money.
for next year.
And then we're projecting 60, so hopefully
Right.
it'll be 60, so.
Okay. So yeah, we're cutting it close. So what was he,
We have about 30,000, he said. And we're
28,500.
projecting getting in 60 this year.
And we typically have carried around 50,000 in reserve, 50 to 60,000 in the reserve fund.
so we'll be having set 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which means next year we might not have enough. We're
Right.
Very close.
Just depends on what we do next year and how effective the programs are bringing more people in for heads and beds. So is there a recommendation?
I recommend we go ahead and provide this, we would technically have enough next year. It would be a lot thinner margin, but we can see how it goes and then if we need to adjust for next year.
Yeah, we might have to reduce some of those.
Mhm.
We have done that in the past.
Right.
We haven't had to
Right.
advance for all these. That's up to us.
So, I'm
We
okay
would have
with-
about a balance of 20K
Yeah.
this time next year.
right, right.
Or a little less, because he said there's 28 to 1,000.
Yeah, so,
But we don't have a very big reserve.
But that would put us next year where we are right now.
right. And then we just have to look at it next year is
Yeah.
my feeling,
Right.
so.
So I'm okay with these.
Granting the request,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay. It comes to the time of the meeting, to end the meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll motion that we end the meeting.
I know it's hard to get used to.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Motion is carried. Mhm.
But it's a good use.
Yep.
Getting thin.
Use that money wisely.
Yeah.
Amanda, do I need to do anything?